have a long way to go when it comes to investing for the future. We seem to prioritize. Okay, hi everyone. Hello and good morning. Thank you for joining this week's episode of AtRam's webinar series. I am Derek Vasquez, Head of Business Development and Sales at Seedbox Technologies, and I will be your host for today. This morning, we will be having an interesting discussion on investing in the digital age and how to manage your investments in the post-COVID economic climate, or what we now all know as the new normal. Before anything else, I'd like to let you guys know that this webinar will be recorded and that copies will be disseminated within the day, as well as posted on all our social media platforms. We will have a Q&A portion at the tail end of this webinar, but that doesn't stop you from submitting your questions throughout the session. Ang kailangan nyo lang gawin ay to click the question button below your screens. So make sure to keep sending those questions as the webinar proceeds. So again, happy Thursday to everyone and super exciting ang session natin today. Today's speakers are both my colleagues from Seedbox, the first fully digital marketplace for investments and financial products in the Philippines. They are Bryce Zialcita and Nicole San Luis. Bryce is Seedbox's Chief Marketing Officer, and he is actually Seedbox's second employee. His background is in marketing and communications with 10 years of experience, handling a variety of brands across different industries. On the other hand, Nicole began her career in management consulting with a global multinational risk management, insurance brokerage, and advisory company, where she spearheaded key accounts across different industries before moving to Seedbox. She has been with us for more than 3 years and is currently the Senior Manager for Business Development and Sales. Again, before we begin, just please, don't forget to send your questions throughout the webinar. Huwag kayong mahiya, please magtanong lang para sa dulo, masagot namin. And hindi ko na patatagalin, without further ado, let me now hand over the floor to Bryce. Bryce, are you there? Good morning.
Good morning, Derek. Thank you very much for the introduction.
Mhm.
Okay, so good day, everyone. So today's topic is investing in the digital age, specifically in the post-COVID world. So in this webinar, we'll be talking about a few topics. So the first would be a quick discussion of the post-COVID world and how it has affected everyone. I'm sure we're all familiar with it. Second is the very uncertain business landscape that it has produced. The third would be, given these very drastic changes and challenges, we would like to touch on some personal money management tips to help you through these very trying times. And for the last 2 points, we'd like to follow this up with how you can make the most out of this time and start investing in the digital age with Seedbox. Okay, so the post-COVID world has changed the way we do things. We all know it and we all feel it. Okay. So first off is physical contact. As we have all experienced, lockdowns and social distancing protocols have increased digital adoption. So with everyone minimizing physical interactions, most of the things that we used to do in person have now moved online, which has resulted to more online habits. So goods and services are now bought and sold online, and items are delivered right to your doorstep. You keep in touch with your friends and family through messaging services, social media, and e-numans are done online through Zoom or whatever platform you decide. While e-wallets and online bank payments have been around for quite some time, it's only now that the adoption has been forced and cashless is now becoming the preferred mode of payment of choice for most of the retailers out there. Please proceed. So here are some examples, and I'm sure you are all familiar with, and I'm sure you use them regularly. We have banking apps, e-wallets for sending, receiving money. We have logistics apps to help send, pick up, and deliver food and goods. We have utility apps to pay for our bills and forgo long lines. We have e-commerce apps. I'm sure everyone's familiar. Recently, it was 1111 for easy shopping, whether it's a big brand you're looking for, or for a small seller, or for your neighborhood online seller person. So, social media apps and messaging apps to keep us in touch with our friends and family, many of whom we haven't seen in months. And lastly, we have news apps and sources to help us keep up to date with the latest happenings locally and around the world. So this has brought a very uncertain business landscape, and we have identified some important points to consider. So the first would be businesses are evolving. So those reliant on foot traffic are forced to adopt their business model and incorporate some sort of digital presence to their operations. We've seen it. I'm sure we have some neighborhood stores that have closed for good. And second would be direct to consumer. For some businesses, there's no longer a need for a traditional brick and mortar store. They've opted to having an effective online model instead to have their goods delivered straight to clients, and ordering and everything else is done online. The third would be businesses that rely in in-person activities like concerts and gyms are having difficulties, and some are trying to find ways to extend these experiences online. Travel and tourism. These were the first to get hit after the lockdowns. Many have closed, unfortunately, while some are trying to adjust their businesses to find other revenue sources and ways to stay afloat. Moving on. So, given this, how do we navigate our finances in this new world? I will now turn you over to my colleague Nicole so she can discuss some ways on how you can successfully maneuver your way in this very uncertain environment. Nicole?
Thank you, Bryce. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Bryce, for what you've shared earlier. So now I'm sure most of you are wondering, and the questions in your minds is, how do we navigate our finances in this new normal, so to speak? So given this unprecedented times, everything that has happened, the change in landscape, of course, there would also be a change in how we will manage our finances moving forward. So next slide, please. So right now, the question is, how do we be financially smart given these times? So the first question would be, how do we achieve financial freedom? So of course, like anything else, it starts with a plan. So that plan would serve as a blueprint for you to jumpstart your saving or investment journey if you haven't yet. I'm sure most of you are familiar with the concept that is SMART when it comes to setting goals. So this is used in project management and in all other fields. So when it comes to planning for your finances or what you'd want to achieve, you'd want to have a goal that is specific. So at least you're sure whether it be something you'd like to purchase, maybe a house or a trip that you'd like to take in years' time. So at least you're sure of what you're saving for. Next, it should be measurable. So of course, we'd like to have something that's quantifiable also, like how much is the target goal or how much are you saving for. Next, it should be attainable. Of course, you'd want to dream big, but then a great part on how that we're able to create a goal that's tangible is that if it's attainable and it's R realistic, which is the next letter. And lastly, it should be time bound. So So whenever we plan for something, although we don't want to say that it's something that's used in the near future, at least it would help keep our goals in check if we'd know whether we'd be using it in a year's time or in 2 years' time. So it would give and it would make it more concrete in a sense. So next slide, please. So now I'll be telling you how are you or how are you supposed to cultivate the right mindset. So it all starts with that plan and with that perspective also. So I'll be giving you 4 practical tips that we've managed to drill down in the countless financial literacy sessions that we've also conducted. So these seem to be the 4 points that I'd also want to share with you. So first is spending less than what you earn. This is easily said or easier said than done. So I'm sure we've heard this many times already before that once you have your income or your salary, you're not supposed to spend more than what you earn. Of course, if you don't want to get into debt. Um, so in spending less than what you earn, I'll be sharing with you practical tips in the coming slides on how you're able to do so. Next is starting early. So I've always got the question from participants before, like, when is the best time to start saving? When is the best time to start investing? So they usually have this perspective that if it's based on the market performance or when should they start putting in their money, how much. And what we always tell them is that the best time is to just start now. If you constantly wait for the right moment or for the right time or when you time the market, usually you never get to jumpstart that investment process. So why not just, if you have enough money or if you have spare cash you have with you, why not just start setting aside some now? And you could see how much it would grow in the coming weeks, months, and even years. The next point is to make it a habit. So once you've decided to finally start, the next thing is to do so regularly. So a common mistake that's done is that you have your money, you start to invest, then you forget all about it. So it tends to become like a one-time, big-time thing, which we don't want happening. So we want to just start now, and even in just a few amounts, as long as it's done frequently, it's done regularly, at least you can start now, and you'll be surprised how much you've managed to already save or set aside in like a year's time. Later, we'll be talking to you about how you're able to do so now in the digital age where everything is online. And fourth is to keep your long-term goals in check. So these goes hand in hand with what I mentioned earlier, that when you have your SMART goals, at least there's something that's specific, they're measurable, they're attainable, they're realistic, and of course, time-bound. So when you have these in check, at least you're able to constantly look back, and you're also able to just see how far you are or how much more do you need, and it would give you that push that you need also. Next slide, please. Okay, so now we're at the common misconception. So this is something that I'd want to share with you, that you have to beware when it comes to spending less than what you earn. So what's usually done, or what we observe, I'm sure most of us have also committed this mistake in the past, is that once you get your income, you get your salary, you spend what you want. So now you know that there's so many sales online, just the recent 11/11 sale. You see all your ads when you open your mobile phones or when you scroll through social media. So it's so easy to fall into that trap of just spending what you have. And then whatever is remaining, it's what you plan to set aside if some things do remain. So, diba? So why not just trying out this tip So that's a very practical tip that I'd want to also impart because I've also started doing this. So once you've gotten your salary, say for the month, for that payroll cycle, why not set aside 20%? So 20% is what most financial advisors would also suggest to their clients. So setting aside at least 20% of what you earn for savings or investments. I understand how much it's important to also be liquid, especially now in these trying times. You really need to have cash with you. But if you're able to set aside for a rainy day at least 20% of what you earn, and then whatever is left, that's what you navigate around your expenses, you'd see that great shift when it comes to budgeting and managing your personal finances. So just a simple tweak in how you just manage your income upon receiving it. Next slide, please. Okay, so the next concept that I will be sharing with you, I'm not sure if most of you are already familiar or if you've heard this in the past with maybe other financial webinars that you've attended, but then this is the financial planning pyramid, wherein it would serve as a guide in helping you know where to put your money. So of course, we'd want you to put your money where it belongs. So with this financial planning pyramid, it would show you the whole picture of achieving a secure and stable future. So at the bottom, you will see your basic needs. So those are the needs that you will be having on a daily basis, or anything that you are sure to spend in the next few weeks or months. So these should be put in a vehicle that's at least easy and convenient for you to manage. So this is usually a personal savings account or a personal checking account. The sad part is majority of working Filipinos or majority of the labor force are still unbanked. So if you've already managed to have one for yourself, then that's great because at least you know that you're secure. You have a place on where to you park your cash whenever you need it. The next level, once you've had it, is that you already aim for wealth protection. So this would cover for unexpected incidents like job loss and critical illness. So a common mistake that especially young people commit is that they think insurance is not necessary since we're not at high risk anyway. We're young, we're healthy. But then, if you think about it, this is actually the best time to get one since you're able to acquire it at a low cost. So just if you have a financial advisor or if you've managed to read on it, then you could see which one would best fit you for now. And what type of protection would you want, be it a life insurance, maybe a property insurance, just for unforeseen events in the future. Once you already have both levels covered, then you can now proceed to looking at wealth accumulation. So this would talk about your mid to long term needs, anything that you won't be needing in the next 12 months anyway. So we're talking years now. Wealth accumulation would help you build your financial stability in the long term. We're talking about other life milestones that you'd maybe want to achieve in the future. So this is the best time to start saving up for it, or should I say investing. The vehicles for this, or the financial vehicles, would be looking into mutual funds or UITFs if you're not the type who'd like to constantly check the market. So I personally, I'm busy with work also, so I'd like to put it in the hands of professionals, of portfolio managers, trusted portfolio managers here at Atram. So I'm invested in some mutual funds and UITFs. However, for those who are familiar with the market or who'd like to get into stocks, then that's also something that you could consider. that you could check out. Another form of wealth accumulation is real estate. If some of you are already into this, then that's great. So now we're just thinking about really building that financial ability in the long term. And on the last level, at the peak of the pyramid, is your wealth transfer. So this would ensure the efficient transfer of wealth to the intended beneficiaries. So of course, you'd want to be able to have that wealth available for the generations to come, especially if you're older. This is what we call as estate planning. Maybe you're more familiar with the term. So asset management companies and a lot of financial advisors would offer this service. And it's something that you could also consider in the future when you'd want to think of a combination of different financial instruments that you would like when it comes to this. So I'd like to point out, as I've explained all of this, is that financial planning it's a journey. So I don't expect everyone here to have all of this at a go. So I didn't just have this also at one go. I started as soon as I started working. I started building my wealth. And luckily I'm here at a company where I'm able to learn all of these concepts as well. And it's something that we'd also want to impart with you guys. So just something to take into consideration when you plan out or when you start that, when you've decided to have that future, or when you want to start planning your finances even better. So there's no right time anyway. So you can always start now with what you know now. So it's a process, and that the basics of budgeting, saving, investing, they're supposed to be applied all throughout at all levels of the journey that anyone can start at any point. Next slide, please. So now I'll be sharing with you practical tips, given all that you've already known or all the concepts that I already shared with you. This is just a supplementary tip. So on how you're able to better budget your finances on a daily. So now, given that everything is digital, everything is online, and what you would most likely have access to on a daily basis is your mobile phone. So why not try exploring these budgeting or money management apps, which are available on both iOS and Android for free? So we've managed to already look at what we think would best suit you. And this is all up to you whether you'd like to just try it out or see what works best for given the lifestyle that you have, or the spending your spending capacity, your spending lifestyle that you have. So these are with optional upgrades also, so that you can consider. So we have Good Budget, we have Wallet by Budget Bakers, Fortune City, Budget or Money. So which you could just download and explore which one would work best for you. Right now, I'll pass it on to Bryce again. Um, on next slide, please. We'll be talking more about investing in the digital age.
Thank you very much, Nicole. That was very insightful. There are certain things we've identified some key long-term investment themes that we feel that you would be worth looking out for. So so these industries have become part of our daily lives, and these themes have become intrinsic, especially as the pandemic has altered our behavior. Next slide, please. Okay. So the new age consumption, as we're familiar with, as we discussed earlier, we're doing things more online. E-commerce, video gaming, fintech have moved to the forefront, and consumers are now using the internet to acquire goods and services. So think of Amazon, Alibaba, Facebook. Locally, we have Lazada, Shopee, and Zalora as just some examples. Of course, we've also been seeing a rise of online gaming, companies that are involved in this, such as EA and Activision. So the second key thing that we've seen would be the ubiquity of technology. So the companies that we commonly use are actually backed by other technology businesses that serve as the backbone of the digital world. So These companies that we do not see are actually responsible for the amazing things that we see that we see today, like cloud computing, data programming, and given the reliance on new internet technology. The third would be environmental sustainability. So as we've experienced stronger typhoons, hotter summers, more companies are beginning to advocate sustainable practices to help the environment. The fourth would be the future of healthcare. So healthcare is more important than ever, and companies that are involved in developing cures and new procedures are really worth looking into. And lastly, the fifth theme that we've identified, moving forward, thank you, is recovery. So Asian countries, including the Philippines, have considerably improved the control of the virus. Fiscal stimulus is in motion, and the economy is budding and hopefully on the road to recovery. So based on these five key themes, we've identified several funds to watch so that you are also on top of so that you're on top of this as well. So for the new age consumption theme, we've identified the Atram Global Consumer Trends Feeder Fund. So this feeder fund is actually invested in funds outside of the country. So when you invest in this particular UITF, you're investing in a fund that's invested in the likes of Amazon, Alibaba, Facebook, EA, Activision. So all of these companies that are in the forefront of online consumption. For the second theme, which was the ubiquity of technology, we've identified the Atram Global Technology Feeder Fund. This is one of our most popular funds to date. So when you invest in this fund, you're invested in a whole slew of technology companies that, as I mentioned earlier, you don't see. You may be familiar with, but you're not quite sure what they are and what they do. So these are the likes of Intel, SAP, SAP. We have some that are more known, like Apple, Samsung. You have Qualcomm, and even the fund is also invested in some more high-tech, if you may say, technologies that are trying to develop self-driving and AI. For the theme of the future of healthcare, we've identified the Atram Unicapital Diversified Growth Fund. So this is a balanced fund, and meaning that it is invested in both bonds and stocks, and both local and global. So this is invested in the X-Tracker MSCI World Healthcare ETF. So you will be able to by investing in this fund, you'll be able to invest in the future of healthcare as well. And for recovery, we've identified two Philippine-based funds. So we have the Philippine Smart Index Fund, which is primarily invested in the companies that make up the Philippine Stock Exchange index, and we approach it with a mix of passive and active management. And we've also identified the Atram Philippine Equity Opportunity Fund, so invests in a wide range of Philippine equities that may or may not be part of the index. Next slide. So investing through Seedbox. So now that we've shared some of our thoughts on key trends and some funds that we think is worth looking into, so how do we invest through Seedbox? So next slide. What is Seedbox? So it is an online platform that provides a wide range of investment funds. So the first is everything is online. So sign up, onboarding, top-ups, redemptions are all online. So it is a marketplace. So we have a wide range of investment products. So we have mutual funds, UITFs, para products. And lastly, we have a total portfolio view. So once you've invested, you can see all your funds in one glance. And you can manage them and know what to do in one glance. Next slide. So as I mentioned, we have mutual funds, UITFs, feeder funds, and Terra funds as well. So we'll get into that later in a bit. Next. So we have funds that suit any investor risk appetite. So if you are more of a conservative investor looking for more of capital preservation, now we have a money market UITF. We also have bond funds in both mutual funds and UITFs. So these are more uh, for the conservative investor. If you're more aggressive, meaning you're looking to grow your money with, of course, higher risk. There's also higher potential reward. So we have equity funds uh, are invested in different stocks. And then if you are moderate investor, next slide. If you're a moderate investor and you'd like to have a little of both, a little of capital appreciation and preservation, we have balanced funds available. And if you're looking to invest in foreign equities, we have feeder funds as well. Okay, next slide. So how does Seedbox work? So all you have to do right now is just log on to www.seedbox.ph. So and then you sign up. So everything is online. All you have to do is prepare your personal details and a photo of your government ID with a picture and a photo of your signature, and then you upload all of these. And once you've done everything, we will have one of our colleagues get in touch with you, and then you schedule a video call, and we will do even the onboarding online as well through video call. And once you're verified, you have a wide range of funds to choose from. So we have all of these funds from Atram. We have a mix of mutual funds and UITFs. And then when you click on these funds, you'll see a complete view of the funds. So you'll see the business rules, a quick description. You'll see the performance as well as being able to download a quick fun fact sheet of the fund as well. So once you've invested, and all you have to do is click and buy, and then deposit your account to the fund that you've selected. Then once you're fully subscribed, next slide, you will have all of the information on your dashboard. Okay, so aside from this, we also have, next slide, terra.seedbox.ph. So if you're interested in investing in Terra products, Terra meaning short for personal equity and retirement account, we have this website as well that you can sign into and join. So this fund is particularly is different in that it is a retirement account. So it's similar to your GSIS and SSS accounts. The only difference is that this is voluntary, and these funds that are in this available through para.seedbox.ph are accredited by the BSP, and you get tax breaks for that. So if you are interested in it, you can send us in your comments if you would like to know more, so we can schedule a webinar for this. Okay, all right, that's it. Thank you very much for your time, and I think we'll proceed to the Q&A. Derek?
Yep. Wow. So thanks, Bryce and Nicole, for that very interesting and insightful presentation. Got it. You guys shared a lot, no, for everyone here. And using Seedbox, and I guess Pera then .seedbox is so easy. And totoo talaga that you can do almost everything online. That we're now even talking about investing online, diba? So again, thank you, and I'm sure our participants have questions pa. So before we forget, and habang fresh pa yung ideas nila, let's look at some of the questions from
Mhm.
our participants. So, okay, so here's one question. I heard that Seedbox does e-face-to-face verification. How is that done? Yep,
Okay, so
Bryce.
I'll
Yeah.
I'll answer it.
Mhm.
So once you have completed your sign up and you are at the pending stage, you will be sent an email with links to schedule your video call. So all you have to do is click on the link and schedule a call. And then in that particular link, all you have to do is enter your contact details, and we will get in touch with you on that schedule that you've provided and that you've reserved.
Okay. Nice. Great. So it's like that lang pala. It's very easy.
Yep, it's
So
very
I
simple.
think
Mhm.
yeah. So this next question is somewhat related, and I see a lot of people, asking this question. Then the question is, how do they actually open a Seedbox account? Do they actually have to go to your office? Kung san man yung office ng Seedbox, Nicole?
I guess I could take it. Yeah. So in opening an account, actually, that's the beauty of Cbox because everything's online now. So you could start by just logging into cbox.ph and then just signing up. So there are a few KYC fields that you would have to fill out. As soon as you're done filling this out, it's just like signing up in a social media platform or what. As soon as you fill it out and submitted your information online, a part of our Seedbox team would be getting in touch with you to conduct that e-face to face, which is a requirement also by the BSP. So as soon as that's done, we're able to approve your account and you can start investing already. So it's really no forms, no visiting the office, everything's online.
Okay, so yeah, that's great. No, there's no need for you to drive or to commute to to the office and then
Mm-hmm.
submit physical forms whatsoever. Okay, so on to the next one. This is for the students out there, man, who are interested in investing.
Oh,
The question
nice.
is, what
Mm-hmm.
is your advice for a college student like me who doesn't have a regular income but wants to start early in investment? So I guess we can
Do you
both
wanna?
get your advice on
Yeah.
this one.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So I guess I could start now. So, as soon as you're 18 years old, you could start creating an account for yourself on Cbox already. You could begin investing. I understand that there's still no stable source of income as opposed to when you're already working, but then maybe some of you would like to already start investing and maybe have a part of your allowance saved as early as college, which is a very good decision to make as early as now. Perhaps you could already start creating an accountancy box just to check it out, see how much you're able to invest. The beauty of Cbox is that unlike other investment companies that would maybe require a minimum of 5,000 or 3,000, here at Seedbox, we accept a minimum of just 1,000. So you could start creating an account for as low as 500. By top ups, that's what I mean as soon as you begun your initial investment, you could add to that initial investment for as low as just 500 pesos. So college students out there who'd already want to begin or start investing as early as now can already start doing so. And maybe just continue when you've already, or maybe when you're employed and you'd want to increase how much you invest. But there's nothing stopping you from starting as early as now. Mhm.
Yep, totally agree with Nicole.
Bryce, maybe you'd want to add or.
Yeah,
Mhm.
totally agree. I think she basically said everything. But just to add, maybe there are a lot of frameworks that Nicole provided during her part of the talk. There are some apps there as well. So maybe
Mhm.
that person who asked can actually start checking those things out and start trying to build that habit so that that frame of mind of saving and setting aside first before buying anything, even as early as now, while that particular person is still receiving allowance. So just start with that habit in mind. And then, of course, you
Mhm.
have the goals that Nicole mentioned. So you can start as early as early. You might not be able to open it right away because of regulations. Of course, you have to be 18, and also you need to have a TIN number. But after that, at least when you have that habit in check
Yeah.
already, it's easier to do it. Yep.
Okay, so
Mhm.
great. So again, I guess it's really just, just start small, and then I guess from there, once it becomes a habit, tuloy-tuloy na siya, right? So, okay, on to our next
Correct.
question.
Mhm.
I see a lot of these questions then. What is the relation between Seedbox and Atram? Bryce?
Okay. So Seedbox, so Atom is one of the parent companies of Seedbox. So Seedbox is currently a joint venture between Atom and Indivara, which is a uh, uh, Indonesian company. So there, yeah. So that's basically the relationship there.
Okay.
Mhm.
Um, okay, this one, disregard safety naman. Um, is Seedbox safe and is it regulated by the government? Nicole?
Oh, yeah, so Seedbox is very much safe. We're regulated by both the SEC as well as the BSP because we offer both mutual funds and UITFs in our platform. So just to add to what Bryce mentioned earlier, why Seedbox has come to or has existed also in the first place is that because Atram wanted to cater to what we see is to the trends right now. So right now everything's really digital, everything's online. So just to be able to also step up our game in that sense, this digital platform called Seedbox was intended to be that marketplace wherein you're able to
Mhm.
purchase the different types of investment products that you think would best suit you and your risk profile. So Seedbox is a very much safe venue, or it's an avenue where you could start your investment process through clicks of a finger. So
Okay. So it is very safe, as you mentioned, and yeah,
mm,
we're regulated by multiple bodies of the government. No, so
mm.
okay, moving on to the next one. What if we missed a monthly due for investing in Seedbox? Is there a penalty for it, um, Bryce?
Hey. Okay, so just to clarify, so these are mutual funds and UITFs, and the great thing about it is that you're not obliged to invest regularly. We do recommend it. We highly recommend it so that you build
Yes.
your investment and your tool, your assets over time. But it's not a requirement. So if you miss a particular month for whatever reason, uh, nothing will happen to you. Your investment will still be there. You can even not touch it for
Okay.
a long time, and it will still be there. But of course, we recommend you putting periodic placements, investments, so that over time
Mm.
it gets bigger and bigger, and you are able to benefit from the many advantages of investing in UITFs and mutual funds.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I
Okay,
guess
that's great.
just to add also to what Bryce mentioned. So this is what I always tell clients nga who are just deciding whether they should start opening a Seedbox account, because I think they were so used to other investment companies also wherein they really require you to put money down on the onset. So they require you to invest as soon as you create an account. So the difference of Seedbox is that you could sign up and create an account without having to invest just yet. So just try signing up, looking at the different products that we offer, see what best or what you think would best work for you. And as soon as you've decided or as soon as you feel that you're ready to start investing, then that's when you can start ordering, placing an order, and to actually start funding your investment. So Seedbox is very convenient, it's very safe. You don't even get penalized when you don't have to put in every month. So we highly recommend that you do so because we'd want to build a habit of investing. but you won't get any penalties if you fail to do so. So it's really a great place to start for those who just plan on starting their investment journey. Consider
Yeah,
Seedbox. Yeah. Mm.
correct. Yeah, kasi I guess a lot of people have this idea na investment kailangan long term. I mean, of course, it's long term, but kailangan
Mm.
pag-isipan kasi every month kailangan maglagay. So,
Mm.
I think that's one
Kailangan
thing that really
hulugan.
differentiates.
Oo.
Yeah, kailangan. So, we recommend it, but nothing will happen if you don't. So, it's okay.
Okay. So, okay, that's great to know. It's completely voluntary, right? So, all right. Okay, so this one naman concerns Pera, since you showed it then earlier, Bryce. How does Seedbox manage Pera accounts with Pera offering institutions?
Okay, so Seedbox is basically the online platform, and the administrator of this is Atram. And the funds that we offer on Pera are actually from currently from BDO and Metrobank. So we will have other Pera products on board soon. So all you have to do is go to pera.seedbox.ph, sign up, do the verification process, and then once you're done, you'll have access to those funds. So yeah, that's how it works. So you'll be able to top up and order through the platform and those funds that are available. Yeah, and we will be adding more Pera funds on as the as time goes on. Maybe hopefully in the next few months we'll have more funds, and then we will probably uh, and then all of the tax benefits will be done by the administrator, in which our case is Atom.
Okay, so great. So, I think Pera is is also a marketplace for all of these products, right? So I think we now have Metrobank and BDO products, right?
Yep.
Okay. So, sige. All right. So this is one that concerns safety again. How can you assure the safety of our funds in your company? I'm paying Atram funds through your partner Gcash, but I'm afraid to send more money on it because of the risk of losing it, according to what is written in your policies. So, Bryce or Nicole?
So I guess, Bryce, maybe you'd want to
All right,
take
sure.
it. Mm.
Sorry. So the client is already so you're already investing in Gcash. Is that did I understand that correctly?
Um, I think they're paying through, um, yeah, I think it's G Invest. Yeah, they're talking about G
Okay.
Invest.
Okay. We are invested. If you are already from G Invest, so there's no issues there in terms of safety because we are connected with them through the back end. Of course, so these are all we've gone through. We have technical experts to do that, and we ensure that all the funds are delivered to Atram. So Atram takes care of that the investment part. So we're very how do you say this? We're very uh, we are very safe, and we are very sure that we can
Well,
ensure that all the funds are there.
Mm.
also, just to
Sorry,
add,
Nicole?
in this partnership with Gcash as well, both Gcash is also regulated entity. Also, they're regulated by the BSP, so they are covered
Yep.
institution. And with Seedbox, since we are licensed, given Atram's license, also with wherein we operate, so the whole partnership is very secure. Parties are regulated, and there's as long as you are able to invest within the limits that are required of the platform, then there's no issues when it comes to your money also. Mm.
Okay, so that's great. Obviously it's very safe, and you have
Mm.
nothing to worry about with since we're also partnered with regulated companies like Gcash. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think this is the last question as we're just about to run out of time. Does investing in Seedbox require close monitoring of products? Nicole, yeah.
By close monitoring of products, well, when it comes kasi the I guess mutual funds, UITFs in a sense, they're really they're, as I mentioned earlier in my segment also, these are types of investment vehicles that are different from stocks, because the type of clients that would also want to sell this to are those who would want their money to grow, but in a sense they don't really want to constantly check, like time the market and such. So it's just a place where you could keep putting regular investments, frequent investments, but then you're secure knowing that we have very highly capable portfolio managers, fund managers for you. So I guess you're given you could check the performance of your fund via your Seedbox dashboard, but then it doesn't require in a sense that really close monitoring of products as you would do for say stocks. And Bryce, would you
Yeah,
like to
so
add?
I think the first thing that the client has to know is basically their objectives, and second is their level of
Mm,
risk appetite. So of course, when you invest in funds, there are also different kinds of funds. So there are for more conservative ones like money market and bond funds. And if you're somewhere in the middle, you want a
mm,
little appreciation in savings, so you're a moderate, which is a mix of both. And then if you're someone that's very aggressive and you want high risk, high return, you can invest in stock in equity funds. So those are
mm,
invested in stocks. So I think that's the very first thing that you need to know. You need to know what kind of investor you are and your objectives, so that you know where they're invested in. Because if you do invest in equities, while we do have very competent, very good asset managers, of course
mm,
there are things that are outside their control. So stocks may go up, may go down, they may fluctuate. So it depends on, you should be able to uh, also understand what you're investing in. While you don't need to monitor it on a day-to-day basis whether it goes up or
mm,
down, you have to have some understanding of where the fund is invested in, so that
Mhm.
um, you are very confident of and then you're sure of what you're investing in as well.
mhm. Yeah, thanks for that, Bryce. Also, all the product information of the fund, the full risk disclosures, they're all available online also when you plan on purchasing or you plan on investing in a product. So, best to just really read it all out first and foremost, fund information, as well as to know what type of investor you are in terms of your risk profile when deciding on the product. Mm.
Mhm. Okay, so great. Unfortunately, we have to end the Q&A here, and maraming salamat guys for sending in those questions. We appreciate them so much, and hopefully, we were able to answer them, and hopefully we were able to encourage you to start your investing journey with Seedbox. And for those questions na hindi namin nasagot, don't worry guys. We'll get to it. We will email you guys the answers to
Mhm.
all those questions that we weren't able to address anymore. So anyway, in case you have not yet registered for our webinar next week, which is personal finance in the new normal with Randall Tiongson, you may do so by scanning the QR code flashed on screen. Don't forget, we have many webinars lined up for the rest of the month. Tuloy-tuloy lang yung webinars natin. So please make sure to like and subscribe to our social media pages. We would also like to invite you to join Atram's new official Viber community group, Atram PH Community, to stay updated on the latest announcements, advisories, and reminders. So it's the same. You can just scan the QR code or visit the link um, on the screen as well. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and that is all the time that we have for this webinar. Salamat Bryce, salamat Nicole, and
Thank
syempre,
you.
maraming
Thank you.
maraming salamat sa ating audience for taking the time to join us today. And if you have any friends na hindi nakasali sa webinar na ito, feel free to share the YouTube replay of this session. You can visit our YouTube channel, Atram Studios, studio rather, and don't forget to like and subscribe and leave comments on our videos. If you have any further questions or would like to learn more about Atram's funds and strategies, please get in touch with your relevant Atram relationship managers or visit our website at www.atram.com.ph. And for more information on our updates on Seedbox, you can visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/seedboxph or our Instagram at seedbox_ph. Lastly, please answer the survey at the end of this session as your feedback, continues to be valuable to us. Again, salamat for taking the time to join us today. And on behalf of Atram and Cbox, I would like to wish for your and your loved ones continued good health and safety. And thank you very much and see you guys again next week.